Andy Parton, I'm the president of the Cradle of Aviation Museum, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to the eve of the greatest anniversary that humankind could ever have, the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11's landing on the moon. We are honored to have with us a number of individuals. We started this program, Countdown to Apollo, at 50 over a year ago. And a lot of it was to not only shine a light on the importance of the 50th anniversary of landing on the moon, but also to shine a light on Long Island's contribution. The 9,000 men and women of Grumman who worked tirelessly to get us to the moon, not just once, but 6 times. So we celebrate their contributions, we celebrate this anniversary, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's happening tomorrow, which is on the actual day. But it's my pleasure to welcome future astronaut and our current county executive, Laura Curran, before she heads off to space.
Yeah, I've been training really hard for this, so thank you very much, Andrew, and thanks so much to the Cradle. So as we all know and have been reading about, this Saturday marks 50 years since 600 million people around the world watched Apollo 11 moon landing, which I think is the greatest technological moment of our lifetime and of many, many generations. Special guests and exhibits, I think we could say, are out of this world. It's a great excuse to get out of the heat tomorrow, to come and celebrate the amazing accomplishment and also the history that we have here, the aviation and space history that's been made right here on Long Island. So you can come and learn about Long Island's rich aerospace history and the monumental achievements that happened right here in Nassau County. So Long Island became known as the Cradle of Aviation, which is where this museum gets its name, because of all of the airfields and aircraft production facilities, particularly during World War II. Grumman Aircraft, based in Bethpage, built military aircraft during World War II and was the major producer of aircraft for the Navy. It was right here in Nassau that Northrop Grumman engineers built and designed the lunar module, which safely landed 12 men on the moon, and let's not forget, got them off again. Just as important. One of those engineers is here with us today, Ross Bracco. Where are you, Ross? Say hello. And I was just talking to Ross about the amazing history and everything that he's seen. So he's one of the many people who are going to be part of this day tomorrow, who are part of this museum and really part of living history. In all, as Andy said, 6 lunar modules were built by Grumman. Only 3 of these historic spacecraft survive today, and one of those 3 is right here at the Cradle of Aviation. I've come here many times with my kids, and it's just amazing to come and to see this lunar module right here. I mean, it almost can't be overstated how amazing that is. This museum is home to the largest collection of Apollo artifacts on display in the world. There's also the Lunar Module 13, the Lunar Module Simulator, and the museum docents who were part of Long Island's Grumman crew of 9,000 who worked on the program. So it is now my pleasure to turn over the microphone to an extraordinary Long Island resident who we're very proud to have with us today. Former Navy SEAL, aerospace engineer, and NASA astronaut who served as commander of Expedition 1, the first crew on the International Space Station. He's also a recipient of the Congressional Space Medal of Honor, and that is Bill Shepard. Bill? All right. Jay.
I'll talk. Great to be at the Cradle of Aviation in Long Island again. I come here as much as I can. I grew up in Babylon, not too far, and my greatest treat is to be here talking to young kids. I was a fairly young child when the space race started, and in my late teens when we had the moon landing. I think this is just a tremendous celebration of a very important event that'll go down in history for a long time as one of humankind's most epic achievements. So beyond Apollo, this kind of ignited a process that's still ongoing now. NASA, the country, and some of our partner nations are on a course to go back to the moon. And this will be a stepping stone to planetary exploration going to Mars. Hopefully, a few of the young children running around the museum today will have a chance to participate in these programs, and that's why this is so important. So I'd like to maybe take some questions either from the audience or from the media. And I just have to admire Laura's spacesuit. A lot of energy now into flying civilians and, if you will, space tourists. Yeah. And I've just got to say, everybody wants to have a flight suit with a neck ring on it. So this is the fashion statement of today. So, fire away, please. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a little curious, and you're the expert. Do you need to go to the moon and make that the platform for Mars, or like in The Martian, is it just a straight shot to the moon?
Yeah, the question is, do we need to go to the moon to go to Mars? And the simple answer is probably no. But the moon offers a great location to do a number of things, and it's only 2 or 3 days away from Earth in case what we're testing and working on the moon doesn't work. We know that a base on Mars is going to need a lot of power, electrical power. We can use the surface of the moon to test our HAB modules, our life support, our power generation, using the resources on the moon to perfect the things that we're going to need to do on the Martian surface. So I think most of the planning today is to use the moon as that stepping stone. And I think it's the right decision. This has been extensively studied, and that's what I think we ought to do.
How important is it to children exposed to this firsthand as opposed to them learning it through television or through the internet?
How important is it for kids to get exposed to the history of places like this museum in terms of understanding math and science? I think it's critically vital. I do a lot of educational outreach, and mostly at the high school and undergraduate level in college. And the educational processes in this country are turning to what you might call project-based learning or experiential encounters. When I grew up, there was a lot of textbooks, not a lot of hands-on, and I think that was something missing, and we're bringing it back now, and that's what children get here. They get to see and touch some of the devices, the inventions, the ideas that made aerospace and the space program happen. It's very tangible to them, and that's what makes learning engaging.
Yeah, and I would add, this is such an asset that we have right in the heart of our county. And you can hear and see all of the children coming, the school groups, the families that are really taking advantage of this. And tomorrow, it's going to be even more special than normal. There's going to be all of the usual exhibits, but there's going to be all of the moon and moon landing themed stuff. And people, the people who built these amazing machines, the people who tested them, will be here. You can actually talk to the people who lived this history, which is a very big deal.
Yeah, the Cradle of Aviation Museum's kind of put me on the spot tomorrow. We're going to have 2 episodes starting, I think, about 12:30. I'm hoping that we have a museum full of kids, because we're going to divide them up into teams, and they are going to design their own lunar lander, and I'm going to help them do it. Young man.
How many miles do we know from the Earth to the moon?
How do we know how far away the moon is?
In miles.
In miles. Well, it's a good question. One of the things that Apollo 11 put on the moon's surface was a reflector. And we used that in the late 60s to bounce a laser beam off the surface. And by doing that continuously, we could measure how far. Another question or two? So I saw a hand up there in the back there.
I'll ask another question. I recently heard that there are questions about how the moon has all those craters or how it got its surface. It didn't occur to me that that was even a question. Is that a mystery, or do they know?
We're getting much more information about it. The planetary bodies, the planets, they fall in two categories. One is they're large gaseous planets like Saturn and Jupiter. They're big enough that they are almost like the sun. They were kind of bodies that were trying to be like stars, but they didn't get there. The other planets are small rocky planets, and that's what the Earth is, although our climate and the way that our geology is formed, our planet is very dynamic. The moon doesn't have that. It's been relatively static for over 4 billion years, so it's really a timepiece as to what the solar system what the solar system looked like and how it acted 4 billion years ago. We're still learning a tremendous amount about the moon and what the moon's relationship with the Earth was. There's 3 big theories, and I'm not the lunar science guy, but I find it interesting. And one of the big questions is, did the moon break off from the Earth and become the moon? Did something zing by Earth and knock the moon off? Or was it formed some other way? We still don't know the answer to that question. But maybe some of the kids here, when they grow up and they go to college, they're going to research this.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to go take off now.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Just so you know, one of the big things we're going to do tomorrow, this lunar module
Hi, how
model,
are you?
which is a 3rd scale, is going to be hanging from the ceiling of the atrium. And at 4:17 tomorrow, we're going to be lowering it to the ground with a countdown similar to New Year's Eve. So we expect everybody to be here and hang around to 4:17. In the meantime, they'll have a variety of family activities, moon buggy rides, not dune, moon buggy rides. A lot of opportunities to meet astronauts, Bill Shepard, as well as 2 others. So we hope to see everybody out here tomorrow for the Great Moon Fest.
Thanks for coming. And thanks for keeping these guys This is, I think it's one of the greatest attractions on Long Island. Yeah. I've had people come here who didn't know about the cradle, the technologists, and I'm like, wow. I mean, this is some of the stuff they have in their collection is just unbelievable. They've got pieces of one of Lincoln's airplanes right now. You've seen the interior strut that somebody figured out was part of an airplane that he had wrecked and rebuilt. He put his initials on it. You can't. I mean, this, yeah. Yeah. There is one thing when they got the loops set up, it's kind of hard to get to unless you know how to drive from this part of town.
Yeah, I know. That's visual connectivity.